Hi everyone. So today we'll be discussing on the topic prime factorization, right? So let's see what the definition part says here. Prime factorization is the process of expressing the number as a product or its prime numbers only, right? Prime factorization is nothing but the process of expressing a number as a product of its prime numbers only. Yep. So every integer greater than 1 has a unique prime factorization. Greater than 1, this is very important actually. Every integer greater than 1 has a unique prime factorization. Nothing but the simple example, suppose if n we consider 6, right? Prime factorization would lead to 2 into 3. So both are prime numbers. It would lead to 6. Suppose if we consider 12 actually, so we can just go with 2 into 2, 4, 4 into 3, 12, right? So this is the prime factorization. 2 into 2, 4, 4 into 3, 12, right? So suppose if n equals to 12. So this is it for the algo actually, accordingly with the definition part. Let's see the algorithm explanation. Yeah. So first what we'll do, we'll start dividing the number n from the smallest prime. So what we'll do, we'll start dividing the number n from the smallest prime, nothing but the 2. Suppose if we have considered 6, we will divide by 2. Yep, 6 2 by 3, that would lead to 2 by, yeah, 6 by 2, that would lead to 3. If a divisor divides n, we keep dividing until it no longer does. So we'll keep dividing until it no longer does. Divisor no longer divides the n, right? Until that we will keep on dividing. Then we will move to the next possible divisor. Will stop when the divisor will stop when the divisor will stop when the divisor square greater than n. Will stop when the divisor square greater than n, right? So this is it. Next, suppose if n is greater than 1 at the end, it itself is a prime factor. So every integer greater than 1 has a unique prime factorization, right? So this is one of the condition. If n greater than 1 at the end, it itself is the prime factor. So this is this is it for the algorithm explanation. Let's do one thing. So let's try to implement the same thing in the form of code, right? Yeah, let's do that first. So first thing, what I'll be doing, so we have to go with some example. So I'll just consider here n equals 12. So yeah, 6 and 12, I'll just go with at least 12, right? 2-digit number. Right, so this is fine. Next, let me go with a print writer. Yeah, this is related to the input output. Let me paste it. So let me paste this one. This is completely related to the this one. What do you call input output? We don't have to worry about this. So let's move on with the further things. Yeah. So let me leave the space. Yep. And we have considered 12 example. Let's move on with the further things. What we have to do now, let me consider the for loop here. We have to try all the devices from 2 to square root n. So I'll just go with the for loop here. So this one will be int I equals to 2 I into I. So this one less than or equal to n. So let me increment the I. So within the for loop, first thing, if I divides n, we have to print the prime factor and we have to reduce the n by dividing with I. So first, if I divides n, so I can just write it in this way. See, while n modulo I, yeah, well, n modulo I, if it is equivalent to 0, if the remainder is equivalent to 0, then as we have considered print writer, instead of the s out, I'll just go with a system out println. I'll just go with a out dot print. Yeah, system dot out dot print. Instead of that, I'll just go with a out dot print actually. Yep, so this is fine. Out dot print. What shall we print? Index I plus the numbers will be displaying that one within the next to it actually. Yep. So I'm just leaving the space so that this looks good. Yep. So this is fine. Now after successfully printing the prime factors actually, then we have to reduce n by dividing with I accordingly with the algo. So I'll just assign the n to n by I. It's as simple as that. Yep. Let me come out of this one entirely. Now what we have to do, if remaining n is greater than n, it is the prime factor itself. See, if n greater than 1, if n greater than 1, then let me go with out dot print. Yeah. So let me pass this one as n. Let me pass n here, right? So let me come out of this one entirely. Now let me go with the out dot flush actually, out dot flush. So this is it for the code. This is it for the code. It's as simple as that. This is it for the code, and it's as simple as that. Now, mm, Do we have any error? No, right? So we don't have any typos or the error, right? So this is fine. While before discussing the before running the code, actually, let's dry run the code by considering the same example n equals to 12, so that we get to know whether whatever the code that we have written is correct or not. And along with that, we get to know about the output for the example that we consider, right? So yeah, let's do that and come back later. We can come back later and run the code. Yep, let's dry run the code first. First, see here, we will be going with the same example. Yeah, n equals to 12 we have considered. Yep, 1 second. Just give me a second. Yeah, we'll be going with the same example. So first, we have n equals to 12 here. So what we'll be doing? First, we'll be going with I. We'll be starting with I equals to 2 when I equals to 2. So what we'll do here when I equals to 2? First, we'll be going with a 12 modulo 2, right? So this is equivalent to 0. Yeah, this is equivalent to 0. So first what we'll do, we'll print 2. First we will print 2. It's as simple as that. Next, n becomes 6 actually. N becomes 6. 2 6 are 12, right? 2 into 6 equals 12. So n equals 6 actually. So this is fine. Next, I'll just go with a 6 modulo 2 here. 6 modulo 2. So this is also equivalent to 0, man. So what we'll do, we'll print 1 second. What happened here? Yeah, we'll print this one 2 again. Yeah. Now n becomes 3. N becomes 3. Now let's move on with I equals to 3. I equals to 3. So now what we will do, first thing, so here loop condition fails because I into I is greater than n, right? I into I is greater than n here. So I'll just write here. So let me write this one entirely. Loop, mm, yeah, loop condition fails, right? Loop condition fails because I into I is greater than n. I into I is greater than n here, right? I into I shouldn't be greater than n, right? So I into I should be less than n, right? Here, so let's go with the final thing, nothing but n is greater than 1. When n is greater than 1, we will print 3. We will print 3 actually. We'll print 3. Yep. So we'll print 3 when n is greater than n. So while n greater than 1, we'll print 3. So what is the output that we have got here? 2 into 2 into 3. Final output that we get here is final output we get here is this one, print 2, print 2, print 3. Yep. So 2 comma 2 comma 3. So this is the final output that we need to get here. This is the final output that we need to get here. 2 2 3. So I can multiply this one. This will lead to 12 actually. 2 into 2 4, 4 into 3 is nothing but the 12. Yeah, this is a small number. You can just do it directly. No worries. Yeah. So this is the output that we need to get accordingly with the code that we have written actually. Now we have dry run the code. We have complete idea on the output part as well. Now let's do one thing. Let's run the code that we have written. Let's do that. So let me come here and I'll just run the code. Let me run the code. Let's wait for some time. Let's wait for some time. So see here, you can clearly see the output would lead to 2, 2 as well as the 3. Yep, nothing but 2 into 2, 4, 4 into 3, 12. And we had dry run the code actually just now, very recently. Yeah. So accordingly with the code that we have written, we have to get the output, this one, 2 to 3 itself, right? So we'll be starting from the 2 as per the code that we have written. You can clearly see here. So n modulo I. So this is what we did, right? N equals n by I finally. So this is fine. We are done with the coding part actually, and we have already dry run the code. We had dry run the code and we are getting the desired output as well. We are done with almost everything. We are left with only one thing, nothing but complexities part. So what will be the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written? So what will be the time complexity here? So so the time complexity would lead to big of, you would have already guessed this one, big of square root of n. Yeah, big of square root of n. So why it is square root of n here? Because we are trying all the possible divisors only up to the square root of that particular number that we have considered. Yeah. So we are trying all the positive divisors, all the possible divisors, sorry, only up to the square root of the number. So overall time complexity would lead to big of square root of n. So what would be the space complexity here? The space complexity would lead to big of 1. It's as simple as that. Why it is big of 1? Because the algorithm uses only constant extra space and no additional data structure. So overall time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written would lead to big of n, big of square root of n and big of 1 respectively. Now, as we are done with this part, actually complexities part, so we are done with the algorithm, entire algorithm part. Yep. So next we'll be discussing on the topic. What shall we discuss next actually? Let's move on with the Euler's totient function. Next we'll be discussing on the topic Euler's totient function algorithm. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.